In the vibrant city of Lagos, Nigeria, there lived a man named Kola. Kola had come from a humble background, where every day was a struggle to make ends meet. Despite the odds, he had worked hard, earned a degree, and secured a stable job as an accountant in a reputable firm. His steady income allowed him to rise to a middle-income status, a far cry from his impoverished beginnings. Kola's family, sensing his newfound stability, leaned heavily on him. His parents needed money for medical bills, his siblings for school fees, and even distant relatives sought his help for various emergencies. Kola, driven by a deep sense of familial duty, never turned them away. But as time went on, the financial demands began to overwhelm him. His savings evaporated, debts mounted, and he found himself unable to afford even basic necessities for himself. One evening, as Kola sat alone in his modest apartment, his phone buzzed with yet another request for money. This time, it was his older brother needing help with his rent. Kola sighed, feeling the weight of his family's expectations crushing him. Desperation gave birth to an idea. He would make his family believe that he had lost his job, to see how they would fare without his financial support. The next morning, Kola called his parents, his voice trembling with feigned despair. "Mama, Papa, I have bad news," he said. "I've been laid off from work. The company is cutting costs, and I was one of the employees let go." His parents' shock quickly turned into disappointment, and then to outright anger. "How could you let this happen?" his father barked. "What will we do now?" The news spread quickly through the family. His siblings, who once showered him with affection, now avoided him or spoke to him with thinly veiled resentment. "We relied on you, Kola," his sister snapped during a family gathering. "And now you can't even keep a job." The atmosphere grew colder, and the once warm and welcoming home became a place of tension and hostility. Weeks passed, and Kola's experiment revealed the worst in his family. They withheld food, leaving him to fend for himself. His calls for emotional support went unanswered, and when they did respond, it was only to scold or belittle him. Kola's heart broke as he realized how conditional their love had been, dependent on his ability to provide for them. One particularly harsh evening, Kola sat alone on the front porch, his stomach growling with hunger, when his older brother stormed out of the house. "You're useless now," he spat. "You can't even take care of us." Kola decided it was time to end the charade. At the next family gathering, he stood up, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "I have something to confess," he began, silencing the room. "I didn't lose my job. I wanted to see how you would treat me if I couldn't provide for you anymore. And what I saw was heartbreaking." Gasps filled the room. His mother's face turned pale, his siblings shifted uncomfortably, and his father's eyes narrowed. "Why would you do such a thing?" his father demanded. "Because I needed to know if you loved me for who I am or just for what I could give you," Kola replied, his voice breaking. "And now I know. Your treatment of me over these past weeks has shown me where I truly stand." There was a heavy silence as his words sank in. His family members looked at each other, shame and guilt washing over their faces. They realized the depth of their ingratitude and the harshness of their behavior. Kola took a deep breath and continued, "I love you all, but I can't keep sacrificing my own well-being for the sake of financial support. We need to find a balance where I can help when I can, but not at the expense of my own life." The lesson in Kola's story was clear. Genuine love and respect should not be conditional on what one can provide. His family had lost sight of their bond, allowing greed and dependence to cloud their judgment. Kola's test, though painful, forced them to confront their selfishness and reevaluate their priorities. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more interesting and insightful video. Like and share as well.